continue to swirl about the Trump transition team's communications with the Russians. I want to walk through the timeline of when specifically all of these events took place, because we have learned more through at least out the month of December of 2016. It was on the 1st or the 2nd that we now know Jared Kushner and Mike Flynn met with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak to reportedly discuss setting up a system of back-channel communications between the Trump transition and the Kremlin. For what reason? That's in dispute. Later in December, Kushner meets with Sergei Gorkov, the head of a sanctioned Russian state-owned bank. The bank was sanctioned, not the individual. On December 29th, calls take place between Flynn and Kislyak, allegedly to discuss the new sanctions that the Obama administration had issued against Russia that day. Those sanctions were in response to Russian interference in the election. Well, joining me now is the former Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper. Mr. Clapper, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Chuck.
Before I get into the Russia story, you just heard Secretary Kelly talk about the leaks that took place. We know the UK complained about the Manchester bombing, and he referred to some of these leaks that they sort of walk up to the line of treason. Some might say, hey, they're just leaking out something that they think the public should know. Where do you draw that line?
Well, I think, first of all, I have to say that leaks are damaging, they're corrosive, they risk compromising sources, methods, and tradecraft. As we've seen recently, they damage relationships with crucial partners. You know, UK and Israel come to mind. And this is particularly serious now because, in my experience, 50-plus years in intelligence, I don't know of a time when we depended more on friends and allies for sharing information and intelligence, particularly with respect to terrorism. So I know Secretary Kelly takes this quite seriously, and he should. You know, legal definition of what's treason, I'll leave that to the lawyers. But just from a practitioner standpoint in the intelligence business, leaks are bad.
All right, let me go through